ranking their top 5 performances before My Demon, a deep dive into the legendary careers of Kang and Yoo Jung. In this exclusive video, we bring you a revelation that has been echoing across the global K-drama universe. Before My Demon set the internet ablaze with its celestial romance and unshakable chemistry, both Kang and Yoo Jung had already built monumental legacies, separately, silently, yet powerfully. They were stars before they were a couple on screen. He, the quiet storm who could shatter hearts with one look. She, the timeless muse whose emotional range had no ceiling. But before destiny brought their names together in bold letters, there were stories, performances that shaped their artistry, moments that carved their identities, and roles that made the world fall in love with them long before they met on screen. Tonight, we revisit those milestones. We journey back through their archives, uncovering the top 5 performances that defined their evolution, the roles that prepared them for My Demon. Because to understand the fire that burns today, we must go back to the sparks that started it all. Hold on tight, K-drama family. The world of your favorite celebrities is unfolding before your eyes, and every moment is more breathtaking than the last. So make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications right now, because trust me, you do not want to miss what's coming next. Kang, the rise of the silent storm. He didn't arrive with noise. He arrived with presence. A presence that didn't need to speak loudly to command attention, it simply existed, and the screen bent around it. Before My Demon, Kang had already proven himself a master of emotional complexity. His career was a study in transformation, from the innocent to the tortured, from the boy next door to the man who carried entire worlds in his silence. Let's begin with his defining moments. Number 5, Love Alarm, the birth of a global sensation. It all began here. 2019, Love Alarm wasn't just a drama. It was a digital revolution. A story about an app that notifies you when someone nearby loves you, and a performance that notified the world that a new leading man had arrived. As Hwang Sun-oh, Kang was the perfect blend of charm and fragility. Every smile concealed heartbreak. Every look carried longing. And when he stood under that falling rain, his phone glowing with unanswered love, fans around the world saw not an actor, but a feeling. With Love Alarm, Kang became a name. With his eyes alone, he told the story of modern loneliness. And that would become his trademark: quiet emotion, roaring impact. Number 4, Sweet Home, the monster inside the man. The world was locked indoors. And then came Sweet Home, the Netflix apocalypse thriller that would redefine his image. Gone was the soft-spoken romantic. In his place stood Cha Hyun-soo, a broken soul, trapped in a building where humans turned into monsters driven by their deepest desires. But the real monster wasn't in the world. It was within. Kang played that transformation with terrifying grace. He didn't just fight creatures, he fought the despair of humanity itself. It was a role that demanded raw physicality and emotional depth, and he delivered both with haunting precision. Critics hailed it as his breakout into serious drama. And in that haunting world, audiences saw it, the birth of an actor capable of carrying entire universes on his shoulders. Number 3, Navillera, the Dance of Dreams and Youth. 2021 brought a masterpiece. Navillera, a story of a young ballet dancer and an elderly man chasing a lifelong dream. This was not just a drama, it was an emotional symphony. Kang, as Lee Chae-rok, danced not just with his body but with his soul. Every pirouette was a memory. Every fall was a cry for purpose. The performance was delicate, disciplined, and devastatingly human. It was the first time critics called him a true artist. Because Navillera wasn't about fame. It was about meaning. And through this role, Kang proved that vulnerability could be power. Number 2, Nevertheless, the dangerous beauty of modern love. By the summer of 2021, Kang had already built a reputation as the face of emotion. But Nevertheless pushed that reputation into controversy. As Park Jae-yeon, the mysterious art student who doesn't believe in love, Kang became the mirror of a generation disillusioned with relationships. He was temptation. He was red flags personified. And yet, he was painfully real. The chemistry between Song Kang and Han So-hee burned through every frame. Audiences were torn between admiration and anger, and that was the point. Because in Nevertheless, Song Kang didn't play a hero. He played truth. A reminder that not all love stories are meant to heal, some exist only to scar beautifully. Number 1, Forecasting Love and Weather. The calm before the demon before my demon, there was forecasting love and weather. A mature romance that explored the chaos of workplace love and emotional burnout. Here, Song Kang showed restraint, no longer the boy driven by passion, but the man learning balance. Opposite Park Min-young, he embodied growth. Every pause was deliberate. Every line, considered. This wasn't a storm anymore. It was a forecast of control, the emotional maturity that would later define his character in My Demon. By this point, the boy from Love Alarm had become an actor who could do it all: love, fear, ambition, silence. He was ready for the role that would make him immortal. Kim Yoo Jung, the queen of versatility. If Song Kang is the silent storm, Kim Yoo Jung is the sunrise, radiant, graceful, and timeless. Her journey began earlier, as one of Korea's most beloved child actresses. But what followed was a transformation so seamless, it felt like we had watched an entire generation grow up through her eyes. Before My Demon, she was already royalty, not by name, but by mastery. Number 5, Moon Embracing the Sun. The crowned prodigy, she was barely 16. But in Moon Embracing the Sun, Kim Yoo Jung wasn't a child, she was a force. As the young Queen Hyo Yeonwoo, she delivered heartbreak with the wisdom of someone far beyond her years. Tears streamed with conviction, pain felt centuries old. The nation watched in awe as she outperformed even seasoned veterans. This was the moment the industry realized, Kim Yoo Jung wasn't the future. She was already the present. Number 4, Love in the Moonlight. The girl who stole the nation's heart in Love in the Moonlight, she played Hong Areon, a young woman disguised as a eunuch in the royal palace, opposite Park Bo-gum. The chemistry was magical. The innocence, undeniable. Every scene glowed with youthful wonder, but behind it lay layers of maturity and grace. The show became a cultural event. Ratings soared. Fan bases multiplied. And Kim Yoo Jung was no longer just a child star. She was a leading lady. A generation's sweetheart. Number 3, Backstreet Rookie. The unapologetic firebrand 2020 brought rebellion. In Backstreet Rookie, she played Young Se-byeol, a tough, quirky, and fiercely loyal young woman who worked in a convenience store. Gone was the gentle princess. In her place was a warrior of modern youth. This performance shocked critics. It wasn't polished. It was raw. And that's what made it brilliant. Kim Yoo Jung proved that she could shatter her own image and rebuild it in flames. It was a declaration, I am no longer defined by the past. Number 2, Lovers of the Red Sky. The artist of emotion Lovers of the Red Sky brought her back to historical drama, but this time, she was in full control. As Hong Chen-ji, a blind painter with divine gifts, she portrayed artistry itself. Every brushstroke was emotion, every glance was faith. The fantasy elements of this drama echoed the mythic tones that would later return in My Demon. This was where Kim Yoo Jung reconnected with magic, the kind of ethereal storytelling that would prepare her for her future as a supernatural heiress opposite Song Kang. Number 1, 20th Century Girl. The master of nostalgia, and then came 20th Century Girl, a Netflix film that broke hearts around the world. As Na-bo-ra, Kim Yoo Jung delivered one of the most devastating portrayals of first love in years. Soft, nostalgic, and painfully human. It wasn't a grand spectacle. It was a whisper, one that stayed long after the credits. It reminded viewers why we fell in love with her in the first place. Because Kim Yoo Jung doesn't just act. She remembers. Before they met, 2 parallel destinies, 2 stars. 2 paths. Both marked by transformation, resilience, and growth. Song Kang mastered the art of restraint. Kim Yoo Jung mastered the art of emotion. Together, they became the perfect storm and serenity in one frame, the balance of light and darkness that defines My Demon. When their worlds finally collided, it wasn't just casting. It was cosmic alignment. Everything they had lived, learned, and portrayed had led to that moment. Their 5th chapters, written separately, finally converged into one story, a love that defied heaven and hell, brought to life by 2 actors who had already earned their thrones. So, when you watch My Demon, don't just see it as a fantasy love story. See it as the result of years of preparation, struggle, and evolution. Every tear song Kang sheds has echoes of Navillera. Every look Yoo Jung gives carries the soul of lovers of the red sky. They didn't just meet in My Demon. They arrived, fully formed, perfectly timed, destined to redefine Korean drama once again. Because before My Demon made them a couple, they were already legends, walking separate paths that always, somehow, led toward each other.